Here are the top most heartbreaking villain origin stories in the MCU so far, where each bad guy truly believes they're fighting for a just cause, fueled by deep grievances against heroes or the cruel twists of fate that shape their lives. 1. Thanos. Thanos, one of Marvel's most complex and tragic villains, has a deeply sorrowful background that shapes his character and motivations. Born on Titan, a moon of Saturn, Thanos was the son of the Eternals' Aelars, also known as Mentor, and Suisan. Unlike his fellow Titans, who were typically beautiful and powerful, Thanos was born with the Deviant Syndrome, a rare condition that gave him a grotesque and monstrous appearance. This physical difference led to his mother, Suisan, attempting to kill him at birth, convinced that he was destined to bring doom. Although she failed, this initial rejection marked the beginning of a life filled with isolation and scorn. As he grew, Thanos faced constant bullying and ostracization from his peers and even his family, who feared and loathed his appearance. As Thanos matured, his isolation fueled a relentless quest for knowledge and understanding of the universe. This intellectual curiosity, however, took a dark turn when he developed a morbid fascination with death. This obsession grew into an infatuation with Mistress Death, the physical embodiment of death in the Marvel Universe. Thanos' unrequited love for Mistress Death drove him to commit horrific acts in a desperate bid to earn her favor. His obsession led him to believe that the universe was overpopulated and that mass genocide was a necessary evil to restore balance. This twisted ideology became the foundation of his many atrocities, including his infamous quest for the Infinity Stones, which he used to erase half of all life in the universe, as depicted in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. Thanos' nihilistic beliefs and his pursuit of power had devastating consequences for his home moon of Titan. Convinced that Titan's overpopulation would lead to its downfall, he proposed mass genocide as a solution. When his ideas were rejected, Thanos resorted to violence, causing massive destruction and leading to the near extinction of Titan's inhabitants, including his own family. This act of destruction was not just a display of his power, but also a manifestation of his deep-seated conviction that death was the ultimate solution to the universe's problems. His actions on Titan were a tragic precursor to the larger-scale genocides he would commit later in his quest to impress Mistress Death. Thanos' personal relationships were fraught with tragedy and failure. His love for Mistress Death was never reciprocated, leaving him in a perpetual state of longing and rejection. This unfulfilled love drove him to greater acts of violence and destruction, hoping that each new atrocity would finally win her affection. His attempts to create a family or forge meaningful connections often ended in betrayal and sorrow. For instance, he fathered many children, but his relationships with them were typically characterized by manipulation and violence. Many of his children turned against him, seeing him as a tyrant rather than a father. Despite his immense power and intellect, Thanos was often his own worst enemy. His pursuit of ultimate power frequently led to his downfall, as he subconsciously sabotaged his own success. Deep down, Thanos harbored feelings of unworthiness and guilt, stemming from his early rejections and the horrors he inflicted on others. This self-destructive tendency is a tragic aspect of his character, showing that even in moments of victory, Thanos was plagued by inner turmoil and doubt. His tragic background, marked by personal trauma, rejection, and a warped sense of purpose, paints him as a multifaceted character whose actions, while horrific, are driven by deep-seated psychological wounds and a profound sense of existential despair. 2. Loki. Loki, one of Marvel's most intriguing and multifaceted characters, has a deeply tragic and complex background that significantly shapes his actions and motivations. Born as a frost giant, Loki was the son of Laufey, the king of the frost giants of Jotunheim. However, he was abandoned as a baby due to his small size and perceived weakness. Odin, the All-Father of Asgard, found the infant Loki after a battle with the frost giants and decided to adopt him, raising him alongside his biological son, Thor. Despite Odin's intentions to treat Loki as his own, Loki's true heritage was kept a secret, fostering a sense of identity crisis and insecurity within him as he grew up. As Loki and Thor grew older, the differences between them became more pronounced. Thor was celebrated for his bravery, strength, and future role as king, while Loki, who possessed a cunning intellect and a talent for sorcery, often felt overshadowed and undervalued. This dynamic created deep-seated feelings of jealousy and resentment in Loki. He yearned for the approval and recognition that Thor received so effortlessly. Despite his desire to be accepted and loved, Loki's mischievous nature and penchant for trickery often alienated him further from those around him. Loki's discovery of his true heritage was a pivotal and devastating moment in his life. When he learned that he was a frost giant and not truly Odin's son, the revelation shattered his sense of identity and belonging. He felt betrayed by the very family he had sought to please, believing that he had always been viewed as a monster and an outsider. This realization intensified his feelings of inadequacy and abandonment, driving him further down a path of bitterness and ambition. Determined to prove his worth and reclaim a sense of power, Loki's actions became increasingly destructive and manipulative. In his quest for validation and power, Loki orchestrated numerous schemes to undermine Thor and seize the throne of Asgard. One of his most notable plots involved his alliance with the Frost Giants to attack Asgard, hoping to both claim the throne and destroy the very race that had rejected him. However, his plans were ultimately thwarted, leading to a series of events that culminated in his apparent death and subsequent fall into the void. This cycle of betrayal, defeat, and resurgence became a defining pattern in Loki's life, highlighting the tragic futility of his ambitions. Despite his many villainous acts, Loki is a deeply sympathetic character whose actions are driven by profound emotional wounds. His constant struggle for identity, belonging, and recognition is a tragic element that resonates with many. Loki's complexity lies in his ability to vacillate between villainy and heroism, often showing moments of vulnerability and redemption. His relationship with Thor in particular is marked by a blend of rivalry, resentment, and a deep, albeit complicated bond of brotherhood. This dynamic adds layers to Loki's character, making him one of Marvel's most enduring and beloved anti-heroes. Loki's tragic background, marked by abandonment, identity crisis, and a desperate quest for validation, paints him as a multifaceted character whose motivations are deeply rooted in personal trauma and emotional complexity. His journey through the Marvel Universe is one of constant evolution, where his actions, while often nefarious, are underscored by a profound desire for acceptance and a struggle to reconcile his dual heritage. 3. Taskmaster. Taskmaster's backstory in Marvel Comics delves into a tragic sequence of events that shaped him into the formidable antagonist he became. Originally Tony Masters, he was a talented athlete and martial artist with a natural gift for mimicry. However, his life took a drastic turn when he volunteered for an experimental procedure designed to enhance his already exceptional abilities. The procedure succeeded beyond expectations, granting Taskmaster the ability to instantly replicate and master any physical movement or skill he observed. While this made him an unparalleled combatant and strategist, it came at a cost. The enhancement process irreversibly altered his brain, prioritizing muscle memory and observational skills over emotional and personal connections. This transformation left him emotionally stunted and isolated, unable to relate to others in a meaningful way. As Taskmaster embarked on his career as a mercenary and combat instructor, his abilities brought him into conflict with numerous superheroes. Despite his success and reputation, there was a profound sadness underlying his actions. He was no longer the person he once was, stripped of the joys of a normal life and haunted by memories of his former self. His journey became a relentless pursuit of validation through combat prowess, a way to fill the emotional void left by his transformation. In both Marvel Comics and adaptations like the MCU, Taskmaster's tragic background serves as a poignant exploration of the human toll behind his formidable skills. It highlights the complex interplay between power, identity, and loss, presenting him not merely as a villain, but as a character burdened by the weight of his abilities and the personal sacrifices that accompany them. Taskmaster's story is a testament to the enduring themes of tragedy and redemption within the Marvel Universe, offering a compelling glimpse into the darker side of superhuman enhancement and its lasting impact on those who undergo it. These stories reveal that every villain has a backstory filled with pain and strong beliefs. They challenge us to reconsider our perspectives and understand how someone can turn to the darker side. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to subscribe.